Hello, welcome to this video in which we do Thomas Egenes, Lesson 10 exercises 1 to 3, which you'll find in pages 133 to 135 of the printed book. So in exercise 1, the sentences are written in Roman script and without the sandhi being applied. You will be applying the correct sandhi and then writing them in Devanagari. I won't do that in this lesson. You can check your answers against it in the key to the exercises. The key to this particular exercise is on page 273, and then translate. So mama, I'll say it first without sandhi, and then you repeat after me, putting the sandhi in. Mama putra gacchati correctly becomes mama putro gacchati. Mama putro gacchati. My son goes. In this one, instead of mama putra, mama, which is the genitive form of aham, of me, the son, you could also use the short form. Remember, you can use the form me, in which case you'd have to invert the order of the words. You'd have to say putro me. You can't say me putro because the short form me can't begin a sentence or word group. So putro me gacchati would be equally correct. B. Tava gajah mat tvam gacchati. Becomes with sandhi tava gajo mat tvam gacchati. So the gaja becomes gajo because it's followed by mat. It's the ablative, remember here, from me, mat tvam, from me to you, accusative of motion, tvam. Mat tvam gacchati in Devanagari and correctly transliterated into Roman script, the final M of tvam would become anuswara, and it would be pronounced as a ng, taking on the point of articulation of the following word, so tvam gacchati. Sentence C. Mama hastau pustakeshu staha. Literally, my two elephants are standing on the books. Is there any sandhi to be applied here? No. Mama hastau pustakeshu staha. There is no sandhi rule to be applied, because in each case we have a word ending in a vowel and the next word beginning in a consonant. Sentence D. Aham nripah asmi. Put the correct sandhi. Aham nriposmi. I am the king. Aham nriposmi. Nripa asmi nriposmi. And the final M of aham would be written as anusvara, but pronounced as an N because of the next word beginning with an N. Sentence E. Vayamashve tishtama. We are standing on the horse. So it could also mean we are on the horse. So with sandhi it becomes no change, because you're vayam ending in an M. The following word begins with a vowel, so no change. It remains as a full consonantal M. And then ashve tishtama ends in a vowel. Next word begins at a consonant. No sandhi rule to be applied. F. Tvam mama pustakam partasi. Now, if you're pronouncing it, you'd apply sandhi by the tuam, the final M would become anuswara, and the final M of pustakam would be written as anuswara, but they would still be pronounced as a full consonantal M because of tuam mama, anuswara followed by M, pronounced as an M, and pustakam partasi, the anuswara M followed by a P, so it would be pronounced as an M, near the same point of articulation as the following P. So, tvam mama pustakam partasi, the only change you would make would be in the writing, the spelling, the pronunciation would remain unchanged. G. Ramah tava nripaha asti. Sorry, sentence F, I'm sure you've got the meaning. This means you're reading my book. Sentence G. Ramah tava nripaha asti. With Santi becomes Ramastava nripusti. Remember the visarga followed by a t becomes into an s. Remember namaste becomes namaste. Ramastava nripusti. Rama is your king. H. Yuyam grihestha. Applying Sandhi, the final M of Yuyam becomes Anuswara, and it's pronounced as a ng here because of the following g. And grihe stha, you are standing, or just you are in the house. E followed by stha, consonant, vowel followed by consonant in the next word. No Santi change there. So the only Santi change is Anuswara to the Yuyam. Asmakan nripah kupitah asti, so meaning our king is angry. With Santi, asmakan nripah kupitusti. Remember the asti becomes osti. And asmakam, you'd write that as anusvara and pronounce it as an N because of the following N. Asmakan nripah kupitusti. Sentence J. Tvaya saha aham gacchami. So Santi between saha and aham, of course, becomes sahaham, and aham, anusvara at the end, subdotted m, so it becomes aham gacchami. So tvaya sahaham gacchami. Tvaya sahaham gacchami. Okay. Dharmikah nripah bhitah asti. Becomes dharmiko nripo bhitosti. These are all followed by, well, the first two cases by a voiced consonant, and then the third case by a short So dharmiko nripo bhitosti. The virtuous king is afraid. And sentence L. Sundarahatvam. You are beautiful, addressing a male. So sundarastvam. Sundarastvam. So visarga to s by reason of the following t. Now in sentence 2, in exercise 2, the sentences here are given in Devanagari, so you take, and they're written correctly in Devanagari with the Sandhi, so you've got to take out the Sandhi and then translate. So what would these be before the Sandhi rules are applied? Nripasya putrosti. Nripasya putrosti. So without the Sandhi, it would be Nripasya putraha asti. He is the king's son. Sentence B. Aho Rama punarvadati. I mentioned earlier that aho is used as an evocative particle attracting somebody's attention, but it can also mean, as here, just an exclamation, as it's translated, aha, Rama is speaking again. Is there any sandhi to be applied? No, there's not. Aho Ramaha punar vadati. Aha, Rama is speaking again. Just note that the punar vadati, that's written with the, let me change to iPad. Here we are. So punar, punarvadati has to be written like this. Punarvadati. So that this collocation here, this grouping, is the rva. Punarvadati, as if it's part of one word. We know it's not. Sentence 3. Ahamativa bhito bhavami. So again you see the aham ativa run into one word so that the syllables a, ha, ma, ti, va as written, though of course the separate words will be aham ativa. So remember, the way the word is written, as so often happens, doesn't actually reflect the natural word breaks. Bhito bhavami would be bhitah bhavami. I am very afraid. Ahamativa bhito bhavami. Sentence C. Acharya api pustakani patanti. Acharya api pustakani vadanti. Now here you say acharya api. You've got a word ending in a long a and the next word beginning in an a, beginning in a vowel. So you know automatically that some sandhi has already been applied. Otherwise, you couldn't have one word ending in an a and the next word beginning in a. They would merge. And of course, the sandhi is the acharya with visarga api, even teachers. Pustakani patanti. Acharya api pustakani patanti. Sentence E. Asti nripo ramo nama vene. So asti, there is nripo, a king, ramo nama, Rama by name, vane, in the forest. Without sandhi it would be asti nripaha ramaha nama vane. And here is an instance of nama being used as an indeclinable, as an adverbial form. So there is a king Rama by name in the forest. Sentence F. Katan tava graham gachamiti shishyah prichati. Katan tava graham gachamiti shishyah prichati. So let's take the last two words first. Shishyah prichati, the pupil or the student asks. Katam, how. Gachami, I go. How do I go? Just how I go, literally. Tava griham, to your house. Accusative of motion here. Griham gachami, I go to the house. Katan tava griham gachami, how do I go to your house? Now this is quoted speech. The student asks, how do I go to your house? So in Sanskrit you say, how do I go to your house? Iti, the student asks. Katan tava griham gachami iti shishya prichati. And taking out the sandhi, well, katam on its own would be written with a final full M. Griham on its own would be written with a final full M, but they both become anuswara because of the following consonant. And gachami iti, gachami ending in a short E, the next word iti beginning with a short E, merge into a long E. Katan tava griham gachami iti shishya prichati. Sentence G. Viro mama graman jayati. Viro mama graman jayati. So without sandhi, viraha mama gramam jayati. So virah to viro because of the voiced consonant following, viro mama, then graman jayati. the final M becomes Anuswara. And here, look, it's pronounced as a palatal N because of the following J. So it would be pronounced Gramanjayati. Gramanjayati. Sentence H. Putra Sundarat Palajalam Labhate. This is Jalam Labhate. Jalam Labhate. With this Anuswara, it becomes kind of a nasal with the following Jalam Labhate. So Putra, the son, Sundarat Palat, from the beautiful fruit, Jalam Labhate, or Jalam Labhate without Santi, obtains water, meaning here, of course, means the juice, obtains the juice. So Sundarat Palat, no Santi there. You see the T and the P are written together, as they have to be, two consonants merging in writing, although they're separate words. No, and so, but Palat Jalam, here's an instance of a final T, followed by the next word beginning with a J, Palat Jalam, so the final T becomes a J. So you see that double J there, so Palat Jalam, Sundarat Palat Jalam Labhate. Sentence I. Sukhena vina duhkamasti. Sukhena vina, without sukha, without happiness. Duhkam asti, there is dukkha, there is suffering. There's no sandhi as such to be applied in the sentence, but there is an orthographic change. So duhkam asti will be written syllable by syllable as duh ka ma sti. Duhkam asti, run together as if it's all one word. Sentence J. Sundaro gajja iti putro manyate. So if somebody thinks that so and so, you've got to put what he's thinking first. Iti, then he thinks. So putro manyate. This is an atmanepada verb. Manyate, he thinks. So putro manyate, without sandhi, it would be putraha manyate. The son thinks. The elephant is beautiful. Sundaro gajah iti. Without sandhi, sundaraha gajah iti. With santi now, sundaraha becomes sundaro because of the following voiced ga, sundaro gajah. And from gajah iti, the ah with visarga followed by the I, the visarga drops, so you get the vowel hiatus, gajah iti. And here, vowel hiatus always write now as two separate words, gajah iti, don't run them together. In fact, it would be regarded as wrong to run them together in the Devanagari script. So here, Sundaro Gajah could mean either the elephant is beautiful, either the beautiful elephant or the elephant is beautiful. The context will tell you. Here, clearly, it has to be a complete sentence. So there's the is understood but not expressed. Beautiful the elephant, thus the son thinks. The son thinks the elephant is beautiful. Exercise 3 now. So translate into Sanskrit. And then you're invited to write first without sandhi and then with sandhi. So I'll leave that to you to do in your own time. I'll just run through them one by one. The student is not afraid of the teacher. In Sanskrit, it says use the ablative, be afraid. You can use the accusative as well, actually. Sometimes you can use the genitive to be afraid of. But I think the most common one is the ablative. So literally, the student is not afraid from the teacher. So, without sandhi, word by word, shishya, the student, acharyat, from the teacher, ablative, bhitah na asti, afraid. The teacher from the student, afraid not is. Without sandhi, said shishya acharyat bhitah na asti. Now, applying sandhi, it would be shishya acharyad bhito nasti. So because the shishya acharyad, because you've got an followed by a long remember it's only followed by a short that they both merge into an O. In all other cases where a word ends in ah, then all that happens is before any other vowel apart from another short ah, where it merged to O, before all other vowels, the ah, the visarga drops, and you have a vowel hiatus, which is why you have shishya, acharyad, bhito. So acharyat becomes followed by bhito, has to become the t becomes a d, acharyad, then bhita na asti becomes bhito nasti. Sentence B, you obtain knowledge from the scriptures. So the scriptures here use the shastra from the root shas to teach. The shastras, literally the teaching materials, the teaching tools. Shastra. So you obtain knowledge would be tvam jnanam labhase. So tvam without sandhi, tvam from the scriptures, shastrebhya knowledge, jnanam you obtain, labhase, an atmanepa verb, atmanepada verb, labhase, not labhasi, labhase. So with santi then, tvam shastrebhyo jnanam labhase. Tvam shastrebhyo, that's the ablative plural, shastrebhyo jnanam labhase. Sentence C, the boy is there, says the hero to the teacher. So there the boy is, thus the hero to the teacher says. So without santi. Tatra balah asti iti viraha acharyam vadati. In English we say to say something to somebody, but the verb vadati can take the direct accusative in Sanskrit. So he says to the teacher, acharyam vadati. So there is the boy, says the hero to the teacher. Tatra, so with santi now. Tatra balostiti vira acharyam vadati. Tatra balostiti bala asti iti balostiti virya, sorry, vira acharyam vadati, vira acharyam vadati. I ask the teacher about the deer. Remember, if you're asking somebody about something, you can put both things in the accusative of Sanskrit, both the person you're asking and the thing you're asking about. So, I, the deer, the teacher, ask. I ask the teacher about the deer. So, aham, without santi, aham, mrigam, acharyam, prichhami. The now apply santi. The only santi to be applied actually would be in writing. You wouldn't hear it in pronunciation. Just in writing, the final consonantal M's would all be written as anuswara, because aham followed by mrigam, acharyam prichhami. Sorry, not all the final ones, because mrigam, acharyam, there's no santi there. It's just in writing they're joined together. Mrigamacharyam. So correctly then you would say aham mrigamacharyam prichhami. Sentence E, where are you going? The boy asks. In Sanskrit we say, where are you going? Thus the boy asks. So where? Kutra? You are going gachasi? Iti, end quote, balah prichati. And with santi, kutra gachasiti. So gachasi iti, gachasiti, balah prichati. No santi to be applied between balah and prichati, being an unvoiced consonant other than ta or da. So balah prichati. F. Again, the hero comes to my house. In Sanskrit, we say, again, the hero, my house comes, putting my house in the accusative for the accusative of motion. So without Santi, punar viraha mama griham agachati. And with Santi, punar viro mama griham agachati. Remember, griham agachati, written all as one word, so you'd have this ma in the middle of it, with the m belonging to the first word and the a belonging to the following word. Sentence G, your teacher speaks the truth. Without Santi, your teacher the truth speaks. So tava acharya satyam vadati. So tava acharya, your teacher, becomes tavacharya. The tavacharya speaks the truth, satyam vadati. The change there is the final consonantal M becomes anuswara and is written satyam vadati. Sentence H, our horses are standing in the village. So our using the full form of the genitive plural, asmakam, horses, ashvah, in the village, grame, are standing, tishtanti. So asmakam, ashvah, grame, tishtanti, with santi, asmakam, ashvah, grame, tishtanti. The only substantive change is that the ashvaha, followed by the voiced consonant grame, g, it just loses its visarga. So asmakam ashva grame tishtanti. And remember here, if you go back to the rule that we found, you can use the short form. The short form of the genitive, you'll find it on page 128. If you look at the third column on page 128, the genitive for we, so of us, is asmakam, but the short form is nah. So you could say, instead of asmakam ashva, you could say ashva no, or ashvaha naha grame tishtanti would be ashva no grame tishtanti. Ashva no grame tishtanti. Sentence I, there is a king, Rama by name, in our village. So in Sanskrit, you say, is King Rama name our village, in our village? So asti, without santi, asti nripa Rama nama asyakam grame. With santi, asti nripo nama smakam grame. So nama asmakam has to become nama smakam grame. Asti nripo ramo nama smakam grame. And finally, for this exercise, how do I obtain the king's horses from you? How from you, of the king, the horses I obtain? How katam, from you, twat, of the king, the horses, nripasya, ashvan. That's of course, the accusative plural for the masculines ending in a short ashwan, then labhe. Remember, labhe, the atmane pada form. It's not labhami, but labhe, just the atmane pada form. And with santi, katam tuvan nripasya shval labhe. So katam remains unchanged apart from the final m becoming anuswara. Tuvat nripasya becomes tuvan nripasya. Nripasya ashvan becomes nripasyashvan, and ashvan labhe, you have a nasalization of the a and then a double l, ashvan labhe. Katam twan nripasyashvan labhe. Ashvan labhe, ashvan labhe. Right, and that concludes the exercises for lesson 10.